So at 16, which is now I'm 70, so 54 years ago, we were doing this. And the only thing that's changed is we're popping pills in rather than using sheets. But no wonder we get burnout. No wonder we're getting hurt.
Welcome to another edition of the Dementia Care Partner Talk Show. Now, here's dementia care expert Teepa and your host, Greg Phelps.
Hello and welcome to the Dementia Care Partners podcast. My name is Greg Phelps, and joining me as usual is dementia care expert Teepa Snow. And Teepa, our topic for today comes from a recent headline, and it reads, more than half of nursing home workers are caught in a vicious cycle of workplace violence, depression, and burnout. Now, no matter how we spin it, that's not the kind of headline we want to read. What's your experience? Is it like that? And if so, or even remotely like so, what can we do about it?
Okay, so when we talk about workplace violence, my experience recently is people who are being placed into care situations, the workers who are being placed into care situations, are not provided with the awareness, knowledge, or training and skill development they should have had before they got put into those situations. Whether it's people living with dementia, whether it's people living with the brain changes that come with depression or anxiety, or maybe a mental health issue, or pain due to an acute episode of something. And so when you go to do things that you might think wouldn't be much of a deal, they are hurting me. And my brain, for whatever reason, is reacting to that. And you're close enough. And I think my brain, primitive brain, is thinking you're doing this to hurt me, not to help me. And without even meaning to, I might strike out or grab or oh, because you scared me, you surprised me, you startled me, you worried me, you trapped me. I felt really so. I think our biggest problem is that people ask carers to do what they are not prepared to do, and therefore they can't give care. They are actually themselves placing themselves in a risky or dangerous situation, and they're being told to do that by those who supervise them.
Is there any comparison between caring for babies and then trying to care for persons in care, seniors in care? Because with babies, it's relatively, they don't fend for themselves as much. You can change them, you can feed them, and generally they're pretty happy. But that same logic doesn't apply to somebody who has had life experience. I've got 75 years of me.
Of me doing me, and me doing me where I did me, how I did me, when I did me. And you don't know me. And you think it's okay to come into my intimate world and start doing intimate things with me. And assuming that I know the reason you are part of my world is because I'm now incompetent to do those things. Or you think I am because you didn't even assess whether I was or not. You assumed that when you asked me, is it okay? I'm going to go ahead and change your brief. And you nod your head yes to me, that I'm going, oh, okay, you're assuming I comprehended everything you said and what that would mean next step wise, because you presume then that I'm going to be okay with you trying to take my pants off and getting an incontinence brief that wasn't even where I had on, and that it was wet. You missed so many opportunities to better figure out what was going on there, but you've been trained or told to ask. And you've been told to ask me with a yes, no. And you stood right in front of me when you did it. And when you nodded your head yes, I thought you were being chit-chatty with me. And I went, oh, okay, because I didn't want to have an argument with you. But then when you put your hands on me, my brain went, whoa, wait, what are you doing? And I might have even gone, whoa, 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 whoa. And then you start saying what, Greg, in that moment, do you think? When I go, whoa, whoa, no, what? No, 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 don't do that. What do you think you'll say? Because you're trying to get your job done.
Well, just stay still, or I would say something along those lines.
It's okay. It's okay. No, you keep saying it's okay. It's okay. It'll just take a
It's
minute.
not okay.
It's not okay. And I don't care how long it takes. You're not doing this. And so I think, unfortunately, of course, you're going to get burned out. Why wouldn't you? You're going to get hurt And I didn't even intend, I'm going to end up with a situation on my hands as the person being cared for, and you're going to end up, and no one's ever paused and said, okay, this shouldn't be happening. There's a presumption that for me, the person who's living with this, I'm just like this now. And until you get medicine on board or until you can do something different, I'll be like that. And now, if you give me medication all too often, what it means is I can't actively participate to assist you in any way because now I'm not able to move very well. I'm not able to think very well. I don't even know what you're up to. And so now you've got a heavier care load. Or what's the other option? You're going to bring in a partner and two of you together. And what happens if every care situation you need two? Well, then you have half the time because you're now carrying two caseloads on one set of these paired individuals. And you know what, Greg? When I first was a kid going into care, because my grandfather was living with us, and there was an offer, if you will come and work some as an aide, we can take your grandfather into the building because my mom, we were sort of done being family carers. And I learned that it was untie him, dry him, and tie him back up. And you
Ooh.
went down the hall. And back in that day, we used sheets. We use sheets to tie. I mean, I've got to say, instead of using sheets, people are using drugs because back then we didn't have, I mean, I'm so old, we did not have those drugs available when I was starting out. But what I've got to say is burnout. Yeah, I opted out. We brought Grandpa back home because it just didn't work for us. Why after 55, 60
You
years, no,
started when you were
55.
3?
No, I started at 15.
Oh,
So I was
okay.
15. I was 16 because I had just turned 16. So at 16, which is now I'm 70. So 54 years ago, we were doing this. And the only thing that's changed is we're popping pills in rather than using sheets. But no wonder we get burnout. No wonder we're getting hurt. No wonder, because what's happening is not what we should have happening for anyone. And so, yeah, no, carers are going to say, no, I can't do this anymore. Or there's a lot of violence. And I'm not surprised at 50. I'm actually sort of surprised it might be that low. But I would say some people are not going to say anything because they want to keep the job. Because what else can I do?
So two things. You have, in your graciousness, posted tons of videos on the interweb out there. You just have to search Teepa Snow and you come up with almost anything. But best is in person. You learn a lot watching videos, but I learned so much from in person that I can't stress enough. I mean, it sounds like a blatant commercial, which of course it is, but that's how you learn.
Well, how's care going to be done? Is it video? You're just going to put a video on of the person living with dementia is going to suddenly like
We're
pop
going to
to.
fold pieces of paper and we're going to.
Yeah. I mean, there's a huge difference when what we're talking about is in coming to someone's intimate space. There is a skill to becoming intimate with someone that looks real different when you do it one way versus another way. And the only way to experience it is to sit on both sides of the curtain and then realize, oh, well, they're doing what I would do if I was in that situation. It's like, ah, so which of us has greater capacity for shifting?
Hopefully
And I would
you.
say us. And so I believe in the power of change. Yes, it takes energy to change, but I do believe there is knowledge and skill that is needed to provide support and care for people living with dementia. And I believe we are shortchanging every worker out there by not providing them with those tools to put in their toolkit. It's not fair.
If people want more information,
We have free consults, we have free chat, we have an 800 number. Please get up with us and talk with us about your experience. We're there to provide support for change, not to simply be a listening place, but to be an agent for shift.
Teepa, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Dementia Care Partners podcast, brought to you by Positive Approach to Care. For more information on today's program or any other dementia-related topic, go to teepasnow.com.